Kia ora whānau, Wairua Tomlin here, aka the Māori That Bikes, and welcome to my channel. Okay, you fellas, I had this idea for a video called Ride and Guide, where I do a POV of a local trail, but at certain points in the video I'll freeze the action either prior to a feature or point of interest on the trail, give you a bit of a heads up about it, and then cut back into the action right after. At the end, I'll show you my entire run of the trail. Keep in mind that with this type of video, this isn't about me as a rider, but more of things that I've learned about from riding my home trails that could be of help to others. Kind of like a tips and tricks sort of thing. And if you think the information I'm putting out is of value, please be sure to like, click on that subscribe button, and hit the bell for the notifications for any future videos I make. I'd love to hear your feedback, especially if you are a newer rider or maybe you're looking at visiting the park in the future. So with that said, if you're a gun local rider or are very familiar with the trail, I'd be keen for you guys to leave a comment down below about anything I might have missed or haven't considered. Sure. Alright then, let's go. Well, here we are at the top of FOO about the drop in. This is a grade 4 jump trail, so it's real flowy, real cool, quite progressive in terms of jumping, and heaps of fun. Very popular trail. So anyway, just before we drop in, you can see that we've got a couple of rocky features to navigate. I tend to head off towards the right. If you get these done quite well, it actually sets you up for a whole heap of speed for a set of doubles coming up. Okay, so here are the doubles I was talking about, and like I said before, if you've got enough speed carrying through, you'll be able to actually clear these. It's really cool when you do. Just don't be deceived by how flat it looks. It's actually a little bit steeper going down the other side. I always used to come up short, but now I'm getting better at actually landing it on the other side and then just hooking through with a bit of speed and pace. Don't know if this is really worth a mention, but for the local riders it probably isn't. But for me, I always used to have problems, and still do on occasion, getting into the right gear leading into this straight section here. When you drop in at the start, you're often in the wrong gear, so it pays to make sure you're in a bit of a higher gear so you can actually put down a bit of pace. Okay, just a little point to mention, a little A-line feature here on the left, and I'm actually taking the B-line on the right. The side that I'm on at the moment is actually quite fast, and it actually sets you up for another A-line feature that's just around the corner here. Okay, so here's a split in the trail, and the actual A-line feature, which is up to the left, goes into a drop that leads back onto the trail here. Now I'm sticking to the bottom right hand side just purely for the video's sake, but you know, if you were to come along the B-line, like I said before in the previous freeze frame, and you went up onto here, you'd actually have a better time of it, in my opinion. Something to note that I have found in the past is if you get riders who go up along the A-line to the left and you have a rider coming down on the B-line to the right, something to be mindful of is if you're coming through with a bit of speed is to sort of look right, look left to make sure that no one's going to, you know, land on someone or crash into someone. Okay, probably not the best freeze frame, but up to the left, that's where the A-line comes out off the drop and you land back onto the main trail. For clarity's sake, if you don't know what A and B means, A is generally, it's just more difficult to do. You know, it might have some sort of feature or whatever on there, and B is generally the easier way along the trail. Happy to be corrected on that. If anybody wants to call me on it, that is fine. Let's carry on. Okay, so from this point, the trail is basically, man, you can just open it up and go for it. It's so flowy, so fast. You get lots of little pops and jumps going off it. You know, rail these berms coming through. Eventually, we're going to end up to a 3 set of step-ups, and you'll see them basically up the front there, just about here now, and boom, there it is. So just to give you a bit of clarification, progressive from left to the right, the one on the left is a bit steeper, the one in the center is about medium, and the one on the right is quite shallow. They all do the same thing. They want to put you up into the sky. Now, in the past, I haven't come into these with enough speed. You generally can come into it with quite a bit of speed, clear it without casing and land on the top, which is generally the idea of most step-ups. It's heaps of fun when you get it right, and you get annoyed at yourself when you don't. Okay, so we've cleared our step-ups, and we're now just picking up a whole heap of pace, getting ready for the next feature, which is coming up. This section here is super fast, and you can get quite a few crank turns in before you hit the feature, which is further up, and that's a kicker. This thing wants to put you into orbit, man, and it's very easy to do. and it can be quite a surprise to people who haven't done the trail before. You can also roll this, but if you want to get your steez on, by all means hit it at pace, man, and get some height out of it. Eh? Be aware though that it does land into a sharp left-hand turn, so if you're a sender, that's something to be mindful of. It is heaps of fun though when you get it done right. Probably not really much of a mention, but here's a little table here. Careful if you go to the right. You can actually hit the ferns and the pungas. I've seen it happen, man. It's funny when it does happen to people. But yeah, you don't want to be like caught mid-orbit and then just crash into the trees. Pretty easy to clear. You can roll this as well. Okay, so here's a neat little feature. It's just a little drop that I'm actually on now. So it's a little A-line feature, real cool. It's actually really easy to get over this as long as you keep your speed going. You could probably roll it as well. There is a B-line down to the left, but hey man, just go for the fun, eh? This thing is super easy to clear. Honestly, it is, but if you're not feeling confident, by all means, hook around to the left and carry on. The next features coming up are a set of tables. Okay, so here's the first of the two of the larger tables on Foo Fighter, and honestly they're heaps of fun. You can get a lot of good height. In the past I used to always case these. I'm now getting better at clearing them and landing on the other side. It's just so much fun to do, and you come out of it with heaps of speed. So if you can, roll it if you have to, but when you get better, man, or you've got better jumping skills than I have, yeah, do all those cool things. You get up there, get some height. It is heaps of fun. Fano, well, that was Foo Fighter, and without further ado, let's check out the full run. Thank you for watching, whānau. If you are interested in watching any of my other videos, you can find the links on screen. Until then, ka kite anō, and I'll catch you up.